Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris. This is TEW9. And we're not ready for our monthly pay-per-view and update. But I was just playing through now. I think we're on the week before Forbidden Door. So I think it's this week, then it's next week, and then Forbidden Door. So I got a few TVs that I'm sort of auto-booking and tweaking to make sure ratings are good enough. Um, just to get us kind of over the hump. And just randomly Eddie Kingston showed up at the show. Um, Wants to hang out backstage. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? He doesn't like Chris Hero, Claudio Castagnoli. We did fire him. He doesn't really like us. I'm gonna say no, but I thought this was kind of interesting, just in the build-up to here. So yeah, I'm gonna say no. We're gonna put this on the beginning of our next episode, which will be Forbidden Door, and we'll be coming to you in a few seconds. But this was just so fun and quirky, I kind of had to put it in. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. I'll see you back very soon for Forbidden Door. Okay, and we are back like 4 hours, 6 hours later. Bunch of other stuff going on, but I got the Forbidden Door, and yeah, backstage stuff has been going crazy, and there's been a lot of fights and falling outs and problems backstage. I had to get rid of a bunch of other people with I don't know what's going on. And some of the stables and storylines and tag teams I'd set up, apparently they just don't have chemistry. So we're reworking on the fly. And yeah, I guess that is very realistic. That's how companies work out there. And it's all well and good to have an idea and to, kind of try and put people together and put a program together, and then incidents will happen that'll kind of make you lean towards or away from people. And yeah, you just won't know really what's going on and where you're doing things. Um, so we have had to change things up. I will say the last show was pretty decent, 1.56 TV rating, almost 1.3 mil watching. If we look at our size, 62, we've just gone up to like 46 in most of the US states, which is great. The regions are really starting to grow. We're so far off 77 popularity, though rising to big. It's unbelievable. We're almost 45 everywhere in Canada. We're quite low in Mexico. Britain's okay. And quite low in Japan, Europe, Oceania. I have spent a ton of money. Mainly on the broadcasters, so very small British Isles and Japan now. And still small Canada, Mexico, and medium in the US. If we look at our show history, we're pretty much just crushing it. 69, 68, 68, 68, 66, 67, 68, 69. I'm back from where we were. So I feel pretty good about it. I do feel pretty good about it. Very formulaic, doing certain things in certain ways, trying to make sure that we've got a handle on progressing the young talent, development in ring and on the microphone, as well as just making sure we're getting good ratings so we can grow. And so that is happening. Like I say, the size, we are slowly growing, slower than I want, but we are growing. Um, I'm also finding it difficult to book everyone. And so, yeah, there's been kind of just battle royals on the pre-show just to get people booked at least once a week so they're not unhappy. I will say right now, if we just look at wrestlers, for example, like we still don't have any major stars, but we got a decent set of sort of star players here. You got Hangman, we got Braun, we got Bobby, we got Brian, And we got MJF. I think that's pretty good main event scene. We got basically Cash and Dax. I've got the tag belts. They're very over at the moment. Not super over. They're below 50s. But they're kind of doing a good enough job where they are. Claudio, John, Moxley as well. Juice has come up into this tier looking pretty good. There's Kenny, Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Will Ospreay, who we've pushed up into this bracket, and I think is a nice sort of addition there. And then firmly kind of mid card, looking up, Darby Allin, Jay White. Johnny is there, Okada, Kota, Matt and Nick, Mercedes, Money, Pac, Ricochet, Roderick Strong, Rush, Saraya, Tony Storm. So yeah, we're starting to see those women come through there as well. And it's unimportant. We've got a bunch of people. We've got so many young people, and a lot of them are graduates from some of the dojos and stuff that I went through like a week or so in game. So it's time to look again. But all got AI generated pictures because that's just the easiest thing for me to do. And so yeah, we got Camden, we got Comedy, yeah, we got Conway Duff. In fact, it's probably best to look here. So you can actually see what they're like and where they're starting. It's a 20-year-old. We've seen these before, a lot of them, so that's fine. But Conway Duff, 18, pretty good. Got high star quality and menace, which I really like. So we'll kind of see Davey. We know solid all round at 21. George is just the magnificence that we're hoping is going to be the superstar one day because he can wrestle. He's got all the fundamentals. He's got the performances. He just improves all around, and he'll turn into something fantastic one day as well. Kelly, the first signing, needs to learn how to wrestle really, but is okay elsewhere for a 19-year-old. I think tons of potential. Lyle Shaw as well, rough around the edges but solid. Paulie can kind of do a bit of high flying and needs a bit of work. Toshio, a little okay everywhere. Like he's pretty decent, but he isn't amazing. Vaughn Solomon, again, a little rough around the edges maybe, and Violet Gay, but yeah. Also got people like Bandito. We got Chuck there, so like good people they can work against. Dalton Castle's another one who's solid in the ring, solid fundamentals, solid performer. Yeah, just pretty good people that we can bounce off, and then people like Hook, Isaiah Cassidy. Who else? Kota we could push, but he's a little older. Lee Moriarty with the right sort of manager. Same with Leo Rush. Mark Quenza, Nick Wayne's in here, Ortiz. So just solid hands at the back end that I think will be good. And a little pet project of mine is going to be Zila Fatu. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And we don't have too much in the way of new people or anything crazy, as you can see here. One thing I do need to change is apparently, like, they don't get on. It's the only person I had Elijah Burke in mind for, because I had a kind of look I was going for, and kind of like a gimmick storyline I was going to play out there. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. I gotta be honest with you, I now don't know exactly who I'm putting with Elijah Burke. So I've got a bunch of notes here about my entire roster, including who's managing who and who can I move? Who can I move? Elijah Burke. I got an idea. I don't love it, but I do have an idea. So we'll take Pack out. And try Nigel McGuinness there. And then Elijah Burke's going to be Pac's mouthpiece. Gonna make that small little change, which means we're going to need to make another little change elsewhere. But just this feedback we're getting back here and there, yeah. We got a lot of managers though, because a lot of road agents are just managers, but they can all speak, which is the good thing. And I've got a lot of people that are okay but not great at speaking, or just really bad at speaking, or don't speak English. So I do feel that's solid. Personalities, I mean, again, every single one of these should be a road agent. Scotty is basically, I mean, he can be a road agent. We're not using him as a road agent. He's just there for the booking committee. So you can see that just like nearly everybody, I don't treat them any differently if they're a personality. A play-by-play. Jim Ross is retiring. 16 days. Ugh. Okay. I mean, that sucks. Carlos has dipped. Jim dipped. Gonna miss him on the booking committee for sure. Mauro's dipped slightly. Tony's dipped slightly. So everybody's kind of down on play-by-play, apart from Renee, who is just holding her rating. And then Carla, we got a bunch of good people, but like it's Jericho, then Foley, then Raven, and then a bunch of people can do it, but we shouldn't want them to do it. Good referees, 3 really good. A 4th is Rich Knox, who's very solid. Then we got Derek. Oh, he's gone up to a 73. He was 72. He's just gone up to a 73, which is nice. And Mike and Aubrey was 71. So, is he the only one to go up again? I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. I don't know why he's growing and the others aren't. But he started at a 70, I believe. And he's gained 3 points. Other people have gained maybe 1 in that time. So I don't know what's helping him, but I like the fact that it is. I wish I knew what it is so I could kind of go and push on that. And I've got a lot in my notes as well. Who's good at angles and who's good at matches. Some different stats here throughout the road agents. But again, there's a lot. I don't think too many because I'll only use about half this list, really, on one show. But they've all got something outside the ring. So pretty much a full page outside. And then a page and a half almost inside the ring. And I think that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. I don't really think anyone's gaining popularity though as wrestlers. I think more people have lost than they have gained. And that kind of sucks. We do have a bunch of creative ideas that are likely to work. Near certain and a safe bet. I've not kept any of the others. I've got a finish for MJF. I don't know where I put that. There we go. That should be the naming convention correctly. Got a finish for MJF. I got a finish for Swerve. I got a finish for Hangman. Oh, sorry, an angle for Hangman. And we got a couple of gimmick ideas, a bunch of creative finishes, and some character ideas and angle ideas. So each show I try and generate them and not use them because we don't really need them. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty solid. So, what else did I want to mention? I don't think there's much on the shortlist. Do I have any AEW on the shortlist, or did I clean it? Conway was on there. Yeah, I kind of got some new contracts done as well because we were running short, and I quickly want to see who should be my main target here up first. So, Sammy in 53 days' time. Ilya in 40 days. Tiffy in 51 days. Yeah, Kana's the first. I keep forgetting. Right. So in about 16 days, 2 weeks and 2 days, we will be able to negotiate and try and take her away from WWE. I think she's very high popularity. She'll help. She'll bolster the women's title picture. She can talk. She is decent, and she does speak passable English. So I don't think there's any reason not to do this. Born Fighter could be a problem backstage a little bit. Everything else is amazingly positive. Yeah. 43, very talented and very over. So her contract is up, but we got a few others. Ken Crawford's coming into the last bit of his deal. Leon Slater. Michael Cole is actually gaining play-by-play. Okay. Others are losing. Michael is gaining. He's not that far away from his contract ending. Ooh, and yeah. Ooh. I forgot. Becky Lynch and Asuka both coming out of contract fairly soon. Both good on the mic. Both very good in the ring. Both high popularity. And both fantastic backstage. That could be the next kind of big thing for us. And then Safer, who, again, the right manager, a little bit of pushing, I think would be a lovely foil for Will Ospreay in that kind of upper mid card for a few years. That could be a really interesting place for him to go into. Is anyone else coming up fairly soon? Are you going up? No, you're sticking at 75, so you're a safe bet to hire. And Seth in 186. And if we got his wife in, that will be okay. Uta Takami, I mean, I kind of would want, but also not a ton right now. What are you up to? 74 refereeing. Have you gone up or have you gone down? Not sure. Not sure about that. William Regal's kind of booked out. Yeah, so a lot of these people are on 3 to 4 year contracts, if not longer. A bunch run out within a year. But over the next month to 2 months, some of those women do become available, and we can maybe start taking them on board at that time. Get rid of Martina for now, because I think we just got rid of a lot of people that look like her, so why don't we just do something differently? Tag teams quite short at the moment. FTR, Private Party, the new foundation we haven't started working on yet, but Davey and Georges from the Heart Dungeon, and of course the Young Bucks. So it's kind of really, really limited in tag team wrestling. It's also really limited in the world's title picture, because I didn't choose for it to go to Adam Scherr. But when you leave the road agent to decide. Sometimes they put over the big guy. So yeah, 10 days. Bryan Danielson didn't hold on to it for long. Didn't actually defend it successfully. So it is kind of on Braun at the moment. But the prestige has gone up. Toni Storm has defended a little bit here and done quite well. She'll defend it on this show, but the prestige has gone up. The tag belts have gone up twice. Yeah, we put it on Cash and Dax, and they've been doing a decent job of that, but without Matt and Nick chasing them. So that's just the easiest rivalry to do. And Kenny is holding on to the International right now. So we have dropped the Continental title, the women's second title, that Mercedes Money was holding on to, because she does wrestle other companies. She does put them over us. CMLL is one that she kind of goes over us to wrestle for. And we don't have a ton of women. We don't have a ton of talented women. So keeping a core group going after just the women's title, I think, is the way to go. And like I say, we've probably got four proper teams, 3 teams that can fight for it. We've got a bunch of people I can make into teams. I don't want to drop the tag title belts. I think that would be possibly a mistake long term, but it is a really bad division for us right now. So yeah, outside like our top 3-4 women, it's a bad group. Outside our top 2 teams, there's not a lot of popularity or talent. It feels like PG era WWE. No tag teams, no women. Just it's the world title, and then we're testing the waters by putting belts onto our up and comers with the Intercontinental belt. It's just kind of defaulted to that. But yeah, overall, I feel pretty good. A lot of people hate us. They've cancelled a lot of deals with us. AAA just don't like us for some reason anymore. New Japan has decided that they don't like us anymore. TNA still hate us, but we chose that battle. We're fine with that. But yeah, a lot of people aren't really very happy with us, and I don't care. Developmental, I've sent down a bunch of very young people as well. So Bodhi, Helios, Hikari, Leland, Miyuki, -1, and Shay, who is our referee in training. So yeah, we couldn't book -1, and he's getting upset. So I threw a bit of money at him and let him go. I could use Miyuki, but just she doesn't speak English. I'm hoping if I send her down there and she's working in Ring of Honor, is there a chance she develops English? Is that kind of something that can happen? I don't know. Like Leland, very young. Ikari as well. Helios. Like they all kind of look the same. They all do kind of look the same. And let me go and put a photo on Bodhi because he does apparently need the photo. By default. He doesn't have it by default, which means the other people have actually added it to, because I haven't added it through here. Yeah. They might be missing it if they're not in AEW. But also, really, if they're not in AEW, I don't care too much. So yeah, okay. I guess he's not going to have it in there, but he will have it as his default picture in total. I guess I can recall him. If I recall him and then add this, wow. I don't know why that didn't work the way I meant it. And then send him down. Nope, he still loses his picture. Lovely. Good to know that's a minute of my life I'm not going to get back. But yeah, just a bunch of people that I had no plans for that I just think might develop and do something there. The Japanese girls are older and better than the other prospects. But it is just the fact that I think if they can learn English, then great. If not, I don't have a ton for them. And they'll come back in time for us to job them out a bunch, really upset them, and then release them. Sadly, that's about it. Everybody else, like Shay can learn to be a referee. We got a 13-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, and an 18-year-old that are all learning as best they can. I've kept all the other people up on the main roster, so quickly go through. You're new. Interesting. Everybody else so far has been there. The only person I haven't hired yet that I have been that I would want to has been Shimazu. I've hired absolutely everyone else, but he actually got hired by New Japan coming through the dojo. Ooh, you're new. You got a handshake. Okay. I'm a shortlist you. Conway Duffler. Sure, yeah. We've hired both of those. So Pro Wrestler Noah. Takechi Yahara. 6'4", 245, muscular, another MMA crossover. There's so many MMA crossovers coming through. So he can't speak English. No. Okay. Attributes. He's intense. Okay. He's got star quality. Doesn't have a ton else. He will come to America, so that's good. And we'll cover your travel expenses. That's not bad. And then Yoshiyuki, Shinobu Yoshiyuki. Again, we'll set you up. We'll put you on the short list. I'm gonna offer pretty much no matter what it looks like, because I don't really care. Needy, good hand. Okay. So he's not gonna. He's always gonna need a manager probably. And he's always going to be a bulky guy. It's a shame because like he's got some solid performance stats. He just needs a bit more, but he could develop really quickly in ring. So yeah, I don't mind that. But those are the next two up, and if they do get hired, I mean, even if they don't get hired, I will put pictures on them. So okay, pretty solid then. All in all, the stables currently are as follows. The Bang Bang Gang, Jay White, leads. But the mouthpiece is the deputy Juice Robinson, who is the most over member of the group as well, with the young Mexican pairing of Bandido and Rush as the up-and-coming stars. Nigel McGuinness is taking over the contracts for Matt and Nick and kind of trying to be their new mouthpiece. And I guess it's not Pac anymore. I guess sliding in as their protege. Like he's kind of trying to save Matt and Nick from being fired in story because they've lost their EVP status, and then we got a little bit of young muscle to push instead of a two. Jake Roberts, FTR, and Hook, the Mercy Killers, the new Scions under Raven, Polly Blackburn, Vaughn Solomon, and Violet Gay. The Rainmaker Dojo is exactly the same members, but Hikaru and Hiku are out in Ring of Honor. The Aces, Bully Ray, backed up by Johnny TV, are the young pairing of Lyle Shaw and Nick Wayne. And then the Empire, Saraya, Jamie Hayter, Will Ospreay, Zach Gibson. Just 4 Brits trying to make it abroad. Japanese stable, British stable. We could have made a Canadian one. We are living in 90s WWE now, I think about it. The more and more we look at this. Wow. Yeah. Yep. That's just what it feels like. But yeah, that's where we're at. Have we got contracts? No, we just got those 2 we've made. We're pretty good all in all. Our shows are getting good reactions. Everything seems fine. And yeah, Yoshiyuki, he has just graduated and they've just signed him up. I don't really know what the other companies are looking like at the moment. I haven't really checked. I have noticed the US economy has gone downhill. So there is that. NXT are in minus money? How much money are they spending if they're minus? WWE's got $500,000. Stardom got $250,000. TNA have got 600 odd thousand. Yoshi's under 100,000. Ring of Honor's got 1.4. Wow, Ring of Honor. How have Ring of Honor got the most money in the bank? I would say right now, but I'm looking up the list and I know we spent our money. I wonder what everyone else has spent theirs on. Rev Pro, 100. $250,000 for Progress. $350,000 for Noah. New Japan USA is in debt. Oh, okay. New Japan's making bank, though. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. NWA, 230. Mystery's got 90K in the bank. MLW over 200. Nearly $1 million for Lucha Libre. GCW, 100 grand. Dreamstar. Ooh. Not a ton of money there. 1.1 for Dragon Gate. DDT, $500,000. CMLL, 2.8. $500,000 for Big Japan. $1 million for All Japan. Yeah, so 1.4 is the third highest. So New Japan have the most money. CMLL have the second most money. And then Ring of Honor have the third most money. Okay. Sure. I guess it makes sense. I'm pretty happy where we are. We're down to 62 wrestlers. I don't feel that we need to do anything super crazy. We're earning anywhere from 80 to 120 grand per show. I'm trying to spread it round a little bit around the areas, so we're not just booking the same territory every single night, even though the computer wants to do it that way. And yeah. Not giving anyone the night off. Coleman Coliseum. Like, 15,000. Okay. Yeah, so a weak and falling economy sucks. The wrestling industry is quite strong, but it is falling. Canadian economy is rising. Mexico is a decent place to be right now. Yeah, Britain's kind of where America's heading and falling. Japan's falling. We don't have the other areas activated. So yeah, I could get 77 fans if we go to Sureste. Yeah. Um, yeah, it didn't occur to me to do a foreign show. The fact that I get 3.5 grand in the UK, though, that pleases me. That does please me. I can get more in Britain, despite a very weak economy and a weak wrestling industry, than I can get in Canada. If we go outside, I mean, we're up to 2K in most of the US. Um, I think that's fine. Broadcasters, automatic selection. Like, we're in this, so that's fine. Booking team, 136. Yeah, we're not booking quite as much as I wanted. We're probably going to blow off 1 or 2 angles here, maybe 3 angles. I think maybe these 2 finishes as well. We could blow off a lot of finishes, actually, if we wanted to. And we're going to hold on to the gimmicks for now. I'm about to use some of those. Well, I'm about to use both those gimmicks. And I'm about to use one of the character ideas. I might want another gimmick. Can't be a good gimmick. Bit of a gamble. Nope. Near certainty. Okay. Nope. Near certain is what I call it. That's fine. We don't quite have enough for anything else, but we've got another gimmick we can use moving forward. Mandy, yes, you can come back in. That seems to be over it. So we got our 5 students, Christopher Daniels, working on their safety and basics. I haven't actually seen these gain for anyone, so I don't know how long it does take to rise. Yeah. Jimmy Hayter. I gotta say, Brian Danielson as a morale officer may not work out, or maybe he's just the main guy, so he's the only one I see clashing with people. So that was very, very small. I guess we. Okay, so yeah, sorry, every other month. I don't want to do anything crazy. We're just gonna bond. So Daniels and Joe and Paige and Danielson. Okay. Keith Lee, Korobushi, both out right now. Absolutely fine. Okay, let me go ahead, book. I'll come back. I'll talk you through the ideas, and we'll play it through, and I'll kind of role play the segments as they come through. Okay, so I think I've booked the show. Interrupted by a couple of phone calls, as always. So, we're about an hour later, but I think everything's booked correctly. I've alternated matches and angles. We booked out the pre-show. We're fully in. We've taken the amount of minutes. The matches have a little bit more time than I wanted them to have. I cut back on some angles, which I think is fine. Just an extra sort of 4 or 5 minutes added across 3 different matches. And I'm going for, because we've got to do a steal the show. We've got to do a storytelling, and we've got to do a wild brawl, car crash, or something else. I can't remember what the third one is. I could probably tell, right? Mayhem. So we got to do those 3. So I've kind of spread those out in certain ways, um, to where I think things will be good. And yeah, I think we're ready to run. So let's start the show. I think, yeah, no issues with booking. You can see here we've got a couple of people. Why men's division? I don't know why. They're definitely backstage. Dax sadly has been dealing with like rib injury issues. So he's the only one really not booked. Everyone else is a backstage road agent, announcer, etc. So I'm pretty happy with that. I have kind of gone halfway down the list on both my match agent and road agent lists, which is the same list of road agent, just sorted differently for 2 different things. The referees, everybody's got 2, I think. Drake's got the main event and something else. I think probably Bobby, Claudio, and no, that's Brian. Oh, you've got the women's match as well, right? Yeah, Drake's got those 2. Brian's got Bobby, Claudio, and Mox, as well as Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. And Bryce has got Kenny and Joe, Swerve, Osprey, and the Young Bucks. With Rich Knox takes a couple, Derek Moore takes a couple, and then Mike Posey and Aubrey Edwards get the 2 each on the pre-show. Which I haven't put any angles on the pre-show. I've just booked those out normally. But all our referees are spread. Our road agents are spread. I want to make sure I've done everything right. On the main card, at least one person every single match who is above unimportant, who can sell, is experienced, and has good psychology. At least one person for each of those 4 categories. I believe I've done that. And yeah, so the main event is going to be a slow build regular match. The core main is a steal the show. So that should be Page and Danielson. They get 15 minutes there. Then we got some storytelling along the way, and I've got a car crash in there, which should be the tag team. I think. Yeah, that's the car crash. Okay, good. I believe we're putting Osprey over in that one, and the only real note is Matt Jackson's fine. Nick Jackson doesn't like it, so I think we're just having to. I think he is fine. He didn't like it the first time. I think we changed some stuff. I did have to protect Nick Jackson, otherwise he'd be unhappy. Now I think all the rest of the matches are regular. There's no runnings, there's no screw jobs, there's no weird finishes. I haven't booked any of those in. I think a title match, we're going to keep the belt on, sure, and build up some heat, but I do think we will drop to MJF. Kenny and Samoa Joe, the title is on the line, and we're letting the road agent decide. And I believe, unless I've messed it up, I believe we're putting the belt, on Mercedes Moné. So Tony's going to drop that one. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. 19 segments, 225 minutes. Used the hour of pre-show as well. Not booking any post-show. 85% matches. We're at 82. We're bang on. Everybody's been used. Everybody's happy. Nobody's working too much. We got Keith Lee and Kota Ibushi out at the moment, so they're only being used in angles or not at all. And Dax is just not able to compete. Or he can compete, but he may be injured if he does. So he isn't really in the show. So let's see how we go. We open up Forbidden Door then with some dark matches. Leo Rush and Toshio Kamata against Trevor Lee and Ortiz. Just 4 solid young workers. A little bit of quality in here, but really, all 4 of these can develop into solid mid-carders or above. It's kind of where I see a couple of... Trevor Lee seems to be okay. Like he does have a little something about him where you think maybe we can elevate him. And of course, Toshio's brand new. So all in all, did okay. We got a counter and Sting at ringside, which really does boost this. Tony and Jericho have pretty good chemistry, so that's really good. And Jericho's color commentary give it a boost. All in all, pretty good. We knew Toshio would be the weakest performer. The rest carried it. I think that's pretty good dark match. No real story, no real issue. Then we figured we'd come back down. We've got some good hands. We do have some good hands in this one. Jimmy Hayter, Chris Statlander, Madison Rain are all capable, but then we got 3 very young and inexperienced people. You could definitely tell that by their ratings too. And yeah, the worst person was also the person most off their game. But having Christian and Dustin Rhodes and Saraya at ringside and Mickey James. So we've got 4 people at ringside. So this is just kind of an all bells and whistles weird stuff going on. But that's not bad. That's actually pretty solid all in. And it's just getting people some experience. And then we got a couple of young people, but really Kelly needs a lot of work. And so she'll be in the ring with people that are better than her, and now and again in angles to get her mic skills up, her acting skills up, and so on. Like we're introducing all the dojo graduates into kind of matches and angles where we can, because they just need to work. They just need to work. And Statlander goes over, absolutely fine. And then again, just the same really for the boys with a bunch of the youngsters in this one. They seem to be really off. Camden had a 5. That's really poor. I really thought Kelly's 9 was going to be the low point for the event, but yeah, some pretty bad. But at the same time, Zach Gibson does pull out a 49. Bandido got a 57, really carrying. Yeah, I mean, the only reason this was a slow build was because we didn't have stamina on people. But again, really flooded with people at ringside. Saraya, Raven, Bully Ray, MVP, Jake Roberts, Okada, and Batista. Like, almost everybody had a manager ringside. Just all going crazy. And there's McGuinness as well. And good thing is, Fatu and McGuinness were having great chemistry. And even going sort of weak. It's tiring visibly at the end. Gibson's rare, different sides of the face heel divide. Yeah, he hasn't turned yet. He will turn. We are working on that one. And then our final pre-show, which is a pretty good all-round match, and really should help develop Nick Wayne a little bit. And again, Bully Ray at ringside. So pretty much every match should have a manager. That's our dark matches. And then our opener was pretty terrible, but also, yeah, should have really been on the pre-show. I forgot to put it on the pre-show. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Okay, that's gonna put us in a really bad place early on. I feel bad now because I think we just handicapped the entire show with that one match that should have been on the pre-show. That was supposed to be swapped with the previous match, the 4-way. And I think I've put the other women's match on here that I didn't want on here with Polly's got a match, and then Violet's got a match. That's going to be next, isn't it? Because we didn't move those around. Oops. I forgot what Mox was. Oh yeah, no, Mox basically is a video package of Mox putting everybody on notice, every title on notice, every faction on notice. His former friends Claudio Castagnoli and Pac on notice because he's unfettered, he's unhindered, and he's free to do what he wants when he wants once again. Beholden to no one but his own sadistic whims. Mox isn't all elite. Mox is against all elite. And he will dismantle this company worker by worker until it all comes crumbling down and he holds all the gold. And then a very interesting 4-way tag match, which I hope to get better. The crowd is disinterested, which it's not going to be great. We just learned that George Blanchard doesn't work with Steve Austin, which is a real shame. But yeah, this is kind of the start of a tag team battle as we're looking at who is going to be the next challenger for those tag belts. Currently, Dax is hurt. Matt and Nick are trying to politic for a title shot and force Cash Wheeler to choose somebody as a new partner to defend those belts. So far, they're unlucky, unable to get that done. And we're trying to find a new tag team to get up and actually sort things out. Jay White with the win. And after the match, Okada looks badly hurt. Side-eyeing his partner, Pac. A little bit of distrust between the two of them. And he's cursing a Japanese at the doctor. And then, yeah. The other matches should have been on the pre-show. A really bad match that kills the crowd. We move on. Prince Nana plotting with Swerve. Outside a dressing room. We never quite see whose dressing room it is. But the camera angle hints that this is not meant to be shown. Swerve looks unsure, but the more and more Prince Nana talks, the more you see his eyes flicker. His brow furrows a little, and the cogs start to turn. By the time we end, Nana looks happy. Swerve beginning to be convinced. Who knows what's next for this diabolical pairing? Where they may strike next. Who's their target? And then a six-way in the middle of the ring. A big spectacle. Cash having to fight without his tag team partner, Darby Allin, reunited with Sting. Johnny TV, the highlight machine, with Ricochet, stealing the show. Roderick Strong, though, in there to put work. And Rush, the young up-and-coming Mexican superstar. They all go head-to-head. Good match, solid rating. Roderick wasn't very good. Tons of management helping out. Still very cold. Saraya playing a video with Ospreay and kind of talking through why he's the next big thing, why he's a star. Intercutting footage of her own time, her own highlights, of how young and how naive she was, of the mistakes, the trials, the tribulations, what she overcame, how she handled early success, how she handled it getting taken away from her, and how she's back, and how she's been better than ever. She's standing on her own 2 feet. She's broken through glass ceilings. She's shattered them. And she's there to remove the roadblocks so Will can do the same and fly as high as he's meant to do. And that brings us to Will versus the Young Bucks. And suddenly, Swerve's music hits. And Prince Nana comes out with Swerve. Mystery tag opponent revealed as the Young Bucks. They thought this would be Cash and a partner. It's not going to happen. It's Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. And Will is going over in this one. Really continuing his push, doing well. They all wrestle pretty well. Will, of course, got the big boost here. Swerve off his game. Matt Jackson and Nigel McGuinness all comparing. So everything's not working out as we want. In terms of all the partnerships I'm putting together, there's just no chemistry anywhere. So we're going to have to keep chopping and changing to find some chemistry. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. More background. I'm backstage politicking. Not great. And suddenly we find attacked in the back. Hangman Adam Page. He's limping. He's up. He's told he has to sign a waiver today if he is to compete. And he does so. He happily does so. Against medical advice. He signs and swears that he'll be there. He's ready to go tonight. And nobody or nothing's going to stop him. And he's asked, does he know who attacked him? And he doesn't answer. There's a look in his eye that maybe he does know, maybe he doesn't. But at least he suspects what may have occurred. We move from that then on to the women's match where Toni Storm defending against Mercedes Moné, Saraya, and King Coda, 4 behemoths of the women's roster. And 20-minute match for the ladies. Toni drops to Mercedes, whose title was vacated and made inactive. She now gets this belt instead. Now Tony can chase. She'll have to fend off Saraya and Kota, but a very solid match. All in all, Mickey at ringside with King Kota doing some work. Everybody stepped up. Pretty decent match. Don't mind that. MVP being interviewed by Steve Austin, and Bobby's there kind of trying to intimidate Steve, but doesn't really work. And Steve Austin came out looking excellent. That's not who I wanted to look excellent. I'm trying to push Bobby here a little bit. But hey, the crowd liked what the crowd liked. And we did kill our early card, but we are now white hot with a couple left to go. Does push us into the right kind of area with some big matches left to end this on a high and still rescue our rating. But Bobby, Claudio, and John Moxley. He's got his eyes set on Claudio. Bobby, fresh of being disrespected by Steve Austin, out with a bit of a point to prove. Steps up, but can't get the job done. And who's going to step up from this group into that world title fight again? Mox does get through, pins his former Death Rider teammate, and gets over one more time. And Joe backstage kind of spots the camera, calls him over, begins to talk about how he hasn't got a lot of respect around here lately. And you hear all these names being mentioned and people giving credit to people for a good match here. Will Ospreay spectacular, Swerve so good. Talk about Moxley, talk about Lashley, talk about Bryan Danielson, talk about MJF. Maybe some people have forgotten who Joe is, what he's done, and what he's capable of. And he begins to talk, and he begins to say a lot of things about a lot of people, and catches himself and says, I don't need to tell you. You're all about to find out real soon who the hell I am. And he throws his towel over his shoulder and walks off. Next minutes, we see him. His music hits. He comes down to the ring. And he is going after Kenny Omega's Intercontinental title. And he comes so close. Doesn't get the job done. Kenny retains. Road agent's call, not mine. But I've got plans for either way. And I think after that promo, this is just step one of Joe proving the title wouldn't be the be-all, end-all. No, he's going to go up against the best of the best, iron sharpens iron, and come out the better man at the other end so he can really fight at the top level. But for now, Kenny Omega cleans up. And Jericho, you see him, mic in hand, cameraman with him, knocking on the door of Bryan Danielson. And he's trying to get something out of Bryan. He's trying to get him to say something negative about Adam Scherr, about Adam Page, and about MJF, about Kenny Omega, about the Bucks. He seems to be needling and goading and trying to get under Danielson's skin, trying to get something going. For what end? Who knows? But Danielson almost falls for it. He's getting wound up. He's getting angrier. And then he kind of shakes it off and pats Jericho on the shoulder. And just without a word walks past him down to the ring. And we have Hangman versus Bryan Danielson. A big, big match. Highlight on two of them. Danielson great, Page fighting hard, tough. A steal the show match. Might just steal the show in terms of rating. A 74. Absolutely fantastic. MJF and Mick Foley talking back and forth about the new school versus the old school, and it did fantastically well. MJF improvising. They did everything they could. They left it out there, and gets us our highest segment ever at an 82 for an angle is unbelievable. And that sadly he's off his game in the ring. He was so good on the mic, but he wasn't quite good in the ring. Him and Adam sure, but the big man against the intelligent man. Who's gonna win? It's gonna be Adam Scherr. He's gonna keep that belt. It's defense number 2. He sets up in a 20-minute match against MJF. He might be better than you, but he's not better than Adam Scherr. We did what we needed to do. And we get a 69 overall rating. Nice. At the end of the day, that's fine. Our top 3 matches were the 75 with Swerve and Ospreay over the Bucks. The 74, Adam Page and Bryan Danielson, and Kenny Omega over Joe. But we don't include that for the rating, so our third match has to include, our top 3 has to include the main events. That's the 66. So 74, 75 really do boost here. So that's like a 72 overall. And then 90% of our 82, which is Foley and MJF. And then 10% of one of these 272. So pretty good. Even though we messed up early card, it's like that should have been on the pre-show. That should have been on the pre-show. And this should have been off the pre-show. We should have opened up with Mox. Then this match. Then Okada being attacked. Then the tag match. Because he was going to wrestle injured. And both these would have been on the pre-show. But never mind. It doesn't matter. And this did really, really well as well for a pre-show match. I'm pretty happy all in. Pretty happy all in. But yeah, we don't change the world title. We don't change the Intercontinental title. We do change the women's. The tag was not on the table for this event. Should be for the next event. We might see new tag champs crowned at the next pay-per-view. But Jon Moxley is able to take down Claudio along the way. Baby Pac's next. And Swerve has a plan. Very solid. Increased our reactions and ratings everywhere. Who do you want to say? I wouldn't say MJF, but he didn't have a good match. I think Will Ospreay. Wow. Okay. Good performance from Will. I think Samoa Joe as a good example. And then Adam Page giving some encouragement there. Please, please, please. No injuries. We make 400 grand from our pay-per-view, which is huge. I think we spent... yeah, probably 4 to 4.5 million so far on our TV network. And we've had possibly 1 million of that back. And that's 2 pay-per-views, but only a month. Because the first thing on the network was All In, and now we're here. So, yeah, ultimately, I think it's going to take another 4 or 5 months to get that money back, but it's going to come back pretty quickly. I'm pretty happy with that. We could upgrade again if we wanted to, but I think we're going to save right now. And yeah, everything kind of gains everywhere, which is really nice. So we're 47 across the US, 46 in Puerto Rico, 45 Hawaii. Southeast does climb to 63. It looks like gains around the world, not really enough to move the needle. But Mexico, a couple now up to 16, the others at 13, and 3 in Australia now at 45. So we're kind of not doing too badly at all. Media scrum. Hired Conway Duff. He'll have to figure out, no free rides. Consider assess. Roster should have been very well. Big Star, only one is under the age of 30. Yeah, but it's MJF who's like good in the ring and out of the ring, so I think that's fine. And we got plenty who are a good 5 years away from retiring, which gives us a lot of time to bring up the young talent that we've got developing. So it's up to them. Yeah, Jay's fine. Brian Danielson, as long as he feels okay, I'm happy with him wrestling. But yeah, that's going to be an issue if he comes and says that he doesn't want to work in ring anymore and like his neck can't take it and he has to retire again, then he's going to make an excellent manager. That's for sure. And like great road agent, our best road agent pretty much as well. Then that's fine. I just don't know who the figurehead would be. I don't think we've got a good one if it's not him. And it does take some of the potent wrestling out of our roster. So I don't love it. So we'll see where we are. So we're prestigious, solid momentum, about 500,000 in the bank, which would be not quite enough to upgrade Britain after another show. So like after Dynamite, we probably would have. We could start working on these, but I think I want to increase Mexico next because their economy's better. So I feel like getting into Mexico would be great. I've got to be honest. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Mercedes money is good. Pay-per-view buy rate of 0.02. That's not amazing. That's not amazing. 11,831 buys. But a 0.95 TV rating, 743,000 viewers. And we did make 400,000 off it. So I don't feel it's bad. I don't feel it's amazingly good. I know we're getting contracts. Jamie Hayter, there's a big decision to make on her. Prince Nana as well, because we've got so many good managers. So we can move on from him as well. Bobby, Dax, Jake, Adam, Hook, Brian Danielson, Cash. Like everybody then until we get down to probably Ortiz and Leo Rush. I think are definitely keeping. I want to keep them. Those two I'm not sure. And everyone else has got plenty. Let's see then. Very chilly for Pac and Johnny, as designed. Jay White probably needs some help. He did just go over, but he probably needs some help. Okada's going to need some help. Mox is going to need some help. He went over as well. Mercedes Money just took the title, so her momentum should shift. I feel that's not too bad. I feel that's not too bad. Yeah, if you were in a solid place, a good event, growing in size, and our roster's manageable. I feel that's kind of the big thing I take away from this. Our roster is manageable. We've got so many options, and so many of them are young. We've got a bunch of people here under the age of 25, plus the ones we've already sent out to developmental. And then between 25 and 30, there's another bunch. And like Tony Storm, MJF, just the highlight reels of those two divisions at 29. But Leo can go. You know, Moriarty's a good technical wrestler. Definitely is a manager. Cassidy can go. Hook's still learning, but we're trying to get him to a good place. And he's got a few years to learn. Lindemann as well. He can get a little bit better, but is good. And Bandito can go. None of them can really talk very well. He doesn't speak English, but if he learns English, then we'll be in a good place. Until we get to MJF and Tony. And those are the two people that really we should be building the men's and women's divisions around. But then when we get older than that, as wrestlers, I think Paige is in a good place. Darby Allin can go. Jay looks pretty solid. Mark Wang can go. Mercedes Money's decent. Ortiz just a good mid-card hand. Saraya, solid, but probably using more as a manager. Swerve can definitely go in that upper mid-card as well. Trevor Lee, we can keep developing him, and he can become another upper mid-card hand. Ospreay with the right manager, I think push to the moon. And Zach Gibson, low card, getting people over. Great technical wrestling, which I think getting some youngsters to work with is going to be great because he's going to boost their technical skill quite a lot. So I kind of like that. And then everybody that's older than that is very well established and sort of key members of the roster that we don't want to lose, apart from Chucky. Like, he could go, but does he get backstage work? Maybe. He's good to put people over on the low card, mid card as well. Dalton, but probably more as a manager. We can keep him around. Jay, maybe just putting people over. We've been using Johnny TV to put people over largely as well. Mox is good. Juice is good and getting better. Okada is ready for a big push, which is hopefully coming soon. Keith Lee, paired with Mick Foley, very solid. Kenny, once he drops that belt into the main event, he will probably go. Ibushi ready for a push as well. And we got some tag team specialists. Pac we're putting people over with. And helping elevate. Roderick Strong's going to help elevate. Rush Rocket Ship and push him to the moon. Joe is just kind of the gatekeeper. Anyone I want to have a good match at the moment, it's basically either Joe or Carter I've been putting them with. I'm not sacrificing them to put people over, but just making people look good. Women's division, a little rougher. I will say that. But yeah, any comments on the roster? Any comments on the event? We did mess the booking up slightly, but financially I think we're in a good place. we've got some good stables brewing. We've got some ideas. We're doing some things. I think the only thing that really stands out is trying to find somebody to manage Matt and Nick. Because right now, it isn't working out. So someone new here might be needed. I don't know. Comments, thoughts on that? Let me know. Anyone else I should take a look at? Anybody that seems like fun? But for now, I think my hires are all going to come from the dojos. Just, again, everybody we see, as we scroll through 25, we're going to try and hire. And we've hired absolutely every single one of them, apart from Shimazu, who is exclusive written contract to New Japan USA. But he is on the shortlist and he will get picked up. So there is that. We've now got Yukihara ready to go as well. So Conway Duff, Lyle Shaw, we've hired both of them. But this is going to be my main focus, like I say, is bringing these people in and trying to develop youth and see how that works in the game. Because I've got no idea, but like I say, if that's a dumb idea, please do let me know. But we've sacked a lot of big name talent, a lot of popular people. We've really sort of pared down the amount of wrestlers we have. And right now, I think it's working out. We've got our network, we've got money in the bank, we're growing slowly, and we don't have to keep a ton of people happy. We're just really solid. A bunch of these young people, Violet, Toshio, Polly, Conway, and Camden, are all negative. Jamie Hayter might end up leaving. John Moxley, the good outweighs the bad. Same with Jay White. Same with Darby Allin. Especially now I've repaired him up with Sting. Everything else in such a good place backstage. So I don't think anything's going to upset us too much. A few of the agitators, including Matt and Nick, are starting, but I don't feel like I'm ready to pull the trigger on Matt and Nick, especially without the tag team division. If I get rid of them, it's FDR and then Private Party with a bunch of nobodies. Next month is kind of building those tag teams and building the storylines around them to make it work to All Out. So that'll be the next pay-per-view. I hope you're back to see that. I appreciate it. Until then, thanks very much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care, stay safe, all the very best to you. Make sure you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. They help the engagement and the algorithm. And yeah, check out the other playlists we got on the channel, as well as memberships. But until then, we've gone all in. We've opened that forbidden door. Next time we go all out. I hope to see you there.